What's going on, guys? I am Toxic Jordan. Welcome back to the channel. So today we are going to be looking through the kits of the new DOKKANFEST cell and the banner unit 18. I figured that this video could also kind of double as a should you summon. Just kind of off rip right up front, I'll say no, you definitely shouldn't summon. That's why I didn't bother doing an individual video for that specifically, because this banner lineup is really, really bad. A lot of these characters are very outdated at this point. I definitely wouldn't recommend spending any stones on this at all. Probably wise to just wait for Golden Week. Coming up at the end of April, right? We also do have a part 2 Yellow Coin LR coming in like a week or two that could be anticipated as well. So yeah, definitely wouldn't recommend summoning, but if you are someone that, you know, tries to pick up every unit, or you know, sells one of your favorite characters, or there might be a couple of other characters on this banner that you are missing and you're going for account completion, then let's go ahead and take a look through the kits to help you further decide if it's going to be smart to spend your resources here. Okay, so the cell starting out looks like his leader skill. Okay, so we're sticking with the 2 category thing. They really have not been going balls to the wall with the 3 category leader skills. They have been holding back on that a lot, which is a little bit unfortunate, but I guess it is what it is, right? Okay, so tournament participants or worldwide chaos are getting 200% HP, and then attack and defense 170%, and then we get the additional 50% to androids or accelerated battle. Okay, so we are keeping up with the new like 220% meta. I think it's pretty safe to assume that all Dokkan Fests moving forward are going to have these leader skills with the 220s. Okay, so that's not bad. This is, I mean, accelerated battle is a really, really good widespread category, so that's not too bad. And then worldwide chaos does include a lot of, like, obviously it's like all the cell cards. It's going to be all the Boo cards too, and then all of like the Zamasu cards. Those are like the 3 main things in there. Oh, I suppose like DKP is on that category as well. So yeah, there's probably a lot of good options there. And then obviously tournament participants is going to be like the entire Universe Survival Saga, and then lots of like Dragon Ball Saga stuff and Android Cell Saga stuff, things like that. So yeah, there is quite a bit on these categories. I think that this is going to be a pretty useful leader skill at the very least. Okay, so let's see. When there is a tournament participant, enemy or ally, then he's getting permanent high chance to crit. Wow, launches a permanent additional super, okay, and then creates the Cell Games Arena domain for 5 turns. Interesting, okay. So his domain effect is dependent on his entrance animation. That's unique. We haven't seen that yet. Usually they have all been linked to active skills thus far, not to you know, to entrance animations. So that's kind of neat. I guess we'll take a look at what that even does. Yeah, down here. So the Dokkan field, tournament participants categories enemy and allies get 15% stats, and then androids or Android Cell Saga enemies and allies get 15 as well. Okay. Yeah, pretty straightforward. That's typical, what you would expect to see for a domain. Just like 30% stat supports for enemies and allies, right? Okay, so basic effects, he's got 200% stats, 20% damage reduction, and then launches an additional. Wow, okay, so he's already got 3 super attacks per turn. That's not bad, because this is a great chance of supering, right? So that's definitely reliable. When there is a tournament participants category enemy, he gets more stats. When attacking with 12 or more ki, he gets a bunch of multiplicative stats here. For every attack performed, he's getting some stackable defense up to 150%. When the character is KO'd, he revives. Oh. Okay. So he just has an all-time revive. There's no conditions to activate this. There's no conditions to... or anything like that. He just has like this is the physical metal cooler or the int fat boo condition. Same thing. Just a free revive that can be procced at any moment. Right from the beginning of battle. So that's good. After the character or an ally's revival skill is active, then he gets 30% damage reduction temporarily when receiving a super. Okay. That's not bad. And then after the character's revival skill is active, he gets 15% damage reduction and guard. Okay, wow, neat. So yeah, I like that they include this kind of thing because in case, you know, like I did mention, he does have a good leader skill. So if you're running him as lead and then also a friend lead version, having these little revival skill pieces of his passive do suck because you can only revive with one character per battle. So that means if you revive with yours, then the friend one is going to be stuck without these benefits. So it's nice that, you know, the allies revive is still going to proc this part. But yeah, like after this unit specifically revives, he's going to have quite a bit. Because if you've stacked up this defense, he's going to be at 350% defense. He's already got 20% damage reduction in base, plus another 15%. So I put him at 35, and then he could be at 65% when receiving a super attack on top of all of that defense. And then if there is a tournament participant's enemy, then he's going to have even more defense there. Oh, and guard. So yeah, I would imagine this guy is going to be pretty decent defensively. Okay, so he's got an active skill here as well. Can be activated when HP is 70% or less, or starting from the 4th turn of battle. Nice. Okay, or from the character's entry. This is good. This is good. I do like this. When they give us an HP restriction, not an egregious one, 70% is pretty easy to come by. You basically are looking for an HP restriction that's easy enough to get with your units like only receiving normals. If you need to receive a super attack in order to get your HP that low, that's when it can be scary, right? But I think it's reasonable to be able to get yourself below 70% with just normals in certain tough content. And then, you know, or having the turn restriction is nice in case you're unable to achieve the HP restriction that you need, right? So that's really good. And then it just straight up gets him stats in battle. It's not even an attack or anything. Nice. Okay, so even more defense there. And then, yeah, here we go. So the great raises for only for 1 turn. So he's definitely not going to be like a Festival of Battles character or anything like that. But yeah, these great raises on top of having like the 3 super attacks, that's going to be really, really good for him. Yeah, this guy is probably going to be a defensive monster. So that's kind of exciting to see. And then, you know, obviously the biggest absolute downside for him is the fact that these characters suck. Like, I mean, okay, you've got Int Boo here, the Int Buhan, and then I guess you have like the tag switch Goku Frieza. Oh, and then Tech Cell. He doesn't suck. He's actually really good. But yeah, other than that, this list is like kind of brutal, kind of a little bit brutal. I mean, I guess you have a couple of good options once you get down here to like these 3-link characters, right? With the Tech Buhan, the physical Boo Tanks, and then like Tech UI, I suppose, maybe. But like they're not really like super strong options. Obviously, you would want something more like this Cell that's sharing 5 links with him. That can't actually be serviceably like a slot 1 unit, because that's one thing with him, is that he is not a slot 1 unit, because he gets all of those stats, you know, after supering a bunch. He's going to need to be in slot 2, probably, to look decent. So yeah, you're going to need to find a pretty strong slot 1 to be with him, which is really only going to be this Tech Cell here, if you've got a superclass enemy. So yeah, the team spots, I'm not super sure about this guy, and that's one of the reasons why, another reason why I would say probably skip this banner, is just because there's not going to be like a ton of places to use this guy on really, really strong meta teams right now. Like maybe throwing him on the team, but as far as running his team specifically, I don't know. Maybe buffs will be coming. Oh, and I suppose we do have the EZA coming for this guy, which I haven't, at the point of recording this video, I haven't looked at the details for it yet, but I imagine he'll probably be a pretty good option post-EZA. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the 18 here. Okay, so the 18 has World Tournament or Peppy Gal's leader skill, 130%. Okay, I'm kind of hoping that at some point they start buffing these. I mean, I know banner units don't have, like, reliable leader skills anyway. It's not really the point of them, but we've been at 130 for so long. I'm kind of hoping that they buff these up to 150 at some point. That would be kind of cool, right? Like, it still wouldn't be that usable in, like, real content, but it would give us a lot more options for usable leaders for, like, Ultimate Clash, right? I think would be like the main point there. And then I guess it would also help like a lot of free-to-play players that really are missing a lot of these really strong you know, units with specific leader skills. So for like quick tangent, for example, for me on my JP account, I still have not yet been able to clear through the entire heroine battle event in order to get the best, you know, the best title in the game. Well, I suppose you only need to clear all the stages in order to get the title, so I'm sure I could do it, because you can clear the event with whatever teams you want. But as far as to get all the missions done, you have to use like a bunch of Pepical's units and stuff like that. So I've been attempting to do that, but the problem is I don't have any of the DOKKANFEST Pepical's leaders in the game, which there's only 2 right now. The AGL Android 21 and then the STR Videl. I don't have either of them on my JP. So that means I'm stuck using the int transforming Ribrianne just for a 150% leader skill to all of them. So if units like this would come out and have a 150% lead, then that would be super helpful, right? Just for people that are missing some of those main category leads. So that's something I hope to see soon in the future, especially because they started buffing the DOKKANFEST leader skills, you know, up to the 220%. Would be a cool change to see. Okay, but anyways, she's got 180% stats in base here, launches an additional with a high chance to super, randomly changes key spheres to rainbow, okay, 30% support for all allies, tournament participants category allies, attack and defense an additional 18% plus 18% crit. Okay, so she's a very good tournament participant support, which makes sense being alongside Cell. 48% stats, 18% crit chance. Not bad. Okay, and then she has multiplicative stats when attacking. This is becoming pretty standard. I feel like it's really rare to see characters release without this in their kit at this point. I suppose this is their way of balancing these characters without just giving them like millions and millions of percentage right here in base. And then the other thing this does is it also helps them keep up with being strong enough and powerful enough, but then also not being able to just be free and easy slot 1 tanks, right? Because if they had it all in base, then they would be slot 1 tanks. But doing this just means that they're going to get mollywopped before they attacked. Okay, so when there are 3 or more tournament participant category allies on the team, high chance of a crit, launches an additional attack with a high chance to super. Okay, so she's also got 3 supers in her kit. These 2 are only a high chance, though. But it is nice that the way they're worded. They launch the additional, which is guaranteed to happen, and then it's just a high chance to super, which means that you're definitely going to launch the attack, and even if it's a normal attack, that still gives you 1 extra chance to proc the Hidden Potential System additional, so that's very nice. Instead of being worded as high chance to launch an additional super attack, because then there's a 50% chance it just won't launch at all, right? Okay. And then as the second or third attacker in the turn... Oh! Yes. Yes, I support. Holy moly, this is a good character. It looks like her stats are keeping up, where she's going to be defensively viable, especially on those turns where you do get lucky enough to proc all 3 of the super attacks you're going to get. Well, I suppose you get 4 super attacks, because the Hidden Potential System additional as well, right? Same for Cell. But then this, dude, 70% chance to evade, and she's never going to be slot 1 anyway. Which, again, same thing. The reason they gave this second or third is because if she had the 70% chance to dodge in slot 1, she would be your slot 1 that you use with Cell. So that makes sense. Wow, that's really good. Okay, and then she's also getting great raises for 1 turn. And she has a great chance to stun. Wow, just tack it all on. Holy moly. What a good character. She's like a scouter and a super attack seal away from being Chilai levels of good. Like, what doesn't she do? She's giving massive levels of support. So, first of all, this supports to all allies, and then she just gives the massive support to tournament participants. She's got enough defense, probably, to keep up on her own. She's getting multiple super attacks per turn, each that have a great chance to stun, with great raises. She's got the evasion here. Like, what doesn't this unit do? Wow. That's quite impressive. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I'm definitely a fan. I'm not too concerned with, like, her linking partners or anything, because obviously the idea isn't to make her look super strong. Like, literally, in spite of all of this stuff, this right here is enough to be able to run her on a team. It doesn't matter, like, what the rest of her kit looks like. It doesn't matter what the rest of the units on the team look like. Just straight up, there's no conditions or anything. She has a great chance to evade. Boom. And then the fact that she has this is just, like, chef's kiss, right? And this, chef's kiss. Like... She's just perfect. I love this unit. Wow. Yeah, I kind of hope that I end up pulling this unit like sooner rather than later. Obviously, I'm not going to summon on the Cell banner, but hopefully I am able to pick this unit up randomly. She will definitely see some usage on my teams. Yeah, I guess this is what hurts her right here, right? She just doesn't have a lot of categories because she's an Android 18. They just don't have a ton. Shoot. Yeah. I mean, I guess Peppy Gals, this is going to be another really, really big up for the Peppy Gals team. And that is kind of funny. It's a Majin Buu Saga buff too, which... Oh, it's because this is from the World Tournament? Yeah. Okay, it makes sense. This is from the World Tournament. That's why she's on World Tournament. Okay, well, neat. I guess this is an Android buff as well, right? Yeah, the nice thing is, like, she's not on a bunch of meta categories, but a lot of these categories are, like, these weird niche side categories that do need help, right? Aside from, like, Majin Buu Saga, that's obviously a very, very meta category. Okay, honestly, I'm kind of more excited about her kit than Cell's. I mean, Cell's pretty good and everything, but I would say this as a banner unit is way more impressive to me than this as a Dokkanfest, for sure. Just like comparatively to what their class is in the game, right? Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and finish it up here. That is my little synopsis of the 2 new units, and then, you know, I guess the Cell banner kind of along with that. So yeah, definitely would recommend summoning. The characters seem decent, but they are definitely the kind of characters you can probably just wait to get in the future. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to check out the links in the description below, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace.